All right, we are live. I'm starting a little bit early. Adam Freeman will be here. We're going to talk a little bit about his upcoming movie, Scream Dream. And also, I just watched his other movie, Deadly Dealings, which I'm not sure if it's out on video yet or DVD, but I had a link to it. He was kind enough to share with me. And I watched that today. Wanted to go over a few things that will be going on. In 2 weeks, the first episode of DK and the Bee, or about 2 weeks. DK and the Bee's Horror Buzz. February 15th, we'll be going live with a guest to be announced, and we're going to be doing a free giveaway, and I'm really excited for this guest, and we'll be announcing that soon. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And like I said, there's going to be a giveaway, so you're going to want to check this out. You're going to want to see what's going on, who the guest is. So keep up to date on Doomsday's Krypt on Facebook. And yeah, I'm not sure if I will have any weekend streams because I will be at Missouri Comic-Con for the weekend. Maybe I'll do a late night stream. Hello, Tony. Good to see you. I was just announcing February 15th will be the first episode of DK and the Bees Horror Buzz with Beatrice Bupley, Amanda Kruger, and we're going to be having a surprise guest that I'll be announcing soon. Probably not this week, but during the weekend, I'll be announcing the guest. And then Wednesday the 15th, the guest will be coming on. We're going to be doing a giveaway. It's going to be a free giveaway. Everybody's going to have a chance to be entered, so pay attention to that. And it's going to be a really cool giveaway, too, as always. Invite you in. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be joined tonight by Adam Freeman, writer, director, producer, Deadly Dealings, Scream Dream. He'll be telling us a little bit about what he's up to. And here he is. Welcome, Adam. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you doing?
There we go. I can hear you now. I'm doing well. Welcome to the stream. And I just watched your movie, that Deadly Dealings.
Oh,
it was kind of you to send me the link for that. I didn't realize Miss Amy Crabtree had a little cameo in there. The phone call. And you're like, I didn't see her in there. But she was the phone call. So yeah. Congratulations to her. Let me take a look here. Hold on a second. Yeah. Sorry. All right. So welcome to the stream. A writer, director, actor. What got you into creating movies? Did you start off as a writer or an actor?
I started off as an actor, and I was actually working at a coffee shop, and there was an actress who works in a lot of films out in Hollywood who always comes in, and she would visit her brother often. Her name was Dale Dickey. She was like in Winter's Bone with Jennifer Lawrence. She was in TNT's Claws with Niecy Nash. And she kind of offered a way into acting, like she told me what to do. And I went and did it. And then she wanted me, to go independently. So I did that, and I just started working in film, like immediately.
Very cool. So is this your second film that you'll be doing? Obviously, Deadly Dealings was your first one?
Deadly Dealings was the first one that I directed and wrote, yes.
And we have Scream Dream coming up, and that's live on Indiegogo as we speak.
It is, yes. That'll be the second one, and that one is one I'm putting a lot of care into. It was a film that I loved growing up, so I'm really honored to be able to have a chance to remake it.
That is very, very cool. Your good friend, promoter Amy Crabtree is here. Hello, Amy. Miss Phone Call herself. What was it, Mama? I forget her the name. I
Mama Eula. Yeah, Mama Eula.
Okay. Brett Wagner's here. He's Facebook user. I sent him a link. Maybe he'll pop in and say hi. He's in a convention this weekend. He's hanging out with Bill Moseley and just kind of rocking it there. And I don't want to mess up the convention name, but he's out there. So maybe he'll pop in and say hi to us and join the stream. I didn't expect it. The swag. But so this campaign, how much time does it have left? Tell people a little bit about this movie. Obviously, it's a remake.
Yes, I believe we have, I want to say it's about 18 or 17 days left. Um, we have went all out with the script. I came up with a story and I have given it to Ben Johnson to kind of tweak the verbiage and let him add some stuff in. And then I read it and then I go back and add some more stuff in. So we're like putting it in final draft. And that's what we've been kind of doing back and forth here lately. We keep coming up with so many ideas. But what we're wanting to do is take a shot on video film and remake it with the same story, with just so many more elements, and show people that, there's a lot that you can do with shot on video. Because so often, like, we get remakes of like really successful films like The Evil Dead, and we've had Halloween, and they're rebooting The Exorcist, but and I Spit on Your Grave, they redid that one. And it's like, all those films are very successful. What happens if you take a film that was shot on video that was not very well known and remake it and kind of bring attention to the original while making something fresh? So that's kind of like where we're coming from the remake point of view. What we're doing as far as like the actual film itself is an 80s throwback. So oftentimes we get like an 80s throwback, kind of like Stranger Things. It has that rustic feel. It has that kind of like I want to say like the whole rustic vibe going through it. And what we're doing is we're taking the colorful side out of the 80s. So we're doing like lots of fog effects, really big hair, scrunchies, crimped out hair, sideways ponytail. We've got really like holographic and sequined wardrobe on everyone. We've got like a rocker style, so we've got like spiked out jackets, leather that's spiked out, kind of bring that vibe. But then also we're mixing in like glamour makeup from the 80s, so it's been kind of cool to kind of go back and look at all the wardrobe and makeup from the 80s. And what we're doing there is bringing out like really retro makeup. And I think that's something that a lot of films kind of miss when they do like an 80s throwback, is they don't really get that vibe sometimes, like, like some of the 80s has, that's kind of left out. So we're going really colorful, really holographic, lots of glitter makeup. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like aesthetic wise. And then as far as like gore goes, we have so much planned for this film. I wish I could tell you everything, but we've taken, like, if anybody's seen the original Scream Dream, we're taking the like original kills, and we've just kind of amped them up a whole lot, and then added a whole lot more in with different elements. So it's going to be really gory. We have Jessie Seitz, who works in the Extreme Underground. She did Jacob's Wife on Shudder with Marcus Cook. And yeah, so we've got a lot of talented people behind it. Just really excited to kind of jump in. And I always take about, I would say, like half a year to a little bit over half a year to do pre-production. So I have to go through, choose everyone's wardrobe, makeup, hair, give them a personality, give them a color palette, and I do that, and then I do the same thing for all my sets. So that's kind of where
Well,
we're at right now.
you're talking to a guy who had an older sister that was about a year and a half, 2 years older than me, and younger sister about the same amount, and we grew up in the 80s. So
Yeah,
leggings, colorful, the poof in the
yeah,
front, a lot of hairspray, a lot of burned hair with the curling iron. So yeah, it definitely had a unique look in the 80s.
yeah.
It was definitely a time of very different, but always cool in its own way.
Don't you ever think that they just kind of leave out the really colorful part of it sometimes in throwbacks? I don't know.
Yeah,
It's just
a lot of times people, I agree with you. Whether it's 70s, 60s films, and somebody does like a modern film trying to shoot in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the
mm,
90s, it feels a little off. Especially, I grew up in the 80s and 90s specifically,
yeah,
was a lot of my childhood. So I'll notice things that are just not there or weren't there, or the timeline, and that's not
yeah.
how it was. So colorful is definitely the way to go with the 80s. Big
Exactly.
hair, leggings, mini skirts were always big back then. The 80s was a fun time. It really was to grow up, especially for horror too.
Yeah.
But I know even from your film, the Deadly Dealings was very colorful. Like lighting is a big part of how you film and to set the tone. And I'm guessing with Scream Dream, it's going to be the same way, a little
Yeah.
more amped up, like you
Yeah.
said, because it's 80s.
Yeah.
So, because even in the opening scene of Deadly Dealings, it's I mean even the landscape and everything, the color and the tone. I want to say red or pink, that you almost the backlight and color you had going for
Mm,
one aspect, and then the green for the other. That was kind of explaining the colors in the movie. So
yeah.
I do appreciate that, you being a filmmaker and using colors like that in every aesthetic and visual, not just the acting, not just the gore, but the ultimate aura of it, and trying to shoot for that 80s vibe. I think that's really important. 80s is one that you have to get right, the look,
Mm,
the style, and everything. And one thing out of place sticks out like a sore thumb. So kudos to
yeah.
you on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I never saw the original Scream Dream. I definitely got to watch it now. I'm gonna have to check it out.
I'll
Uh,
send you a
so
link.
okay, cool. So with this campaign, how much time do you have left on it? When do you
Um,
plan to shoot? And
I want to say it's between 18, 17 days left. I want to say we were at 12,300 something when I last checked today. We are going to be shooting in September, between September 17th and the 30th. We do have perks on there if people want to get involved with it. Like I think the really fun one that we sold a few of today is turn yourself into an album cover. So like we have like a Walkman and we are making cassette tapes with bands. So one of the characters, she like listens to her Walkman like the whole time. And she's always constantly like searching through her makeup and like her cassette tapes. So we're gonna be turning people into bands for those tapes. It's kind of a fun one.
well, there's so much fun you could do with the 80s. You could go boom boxes, Walkman,
Yeah.
breakdancing was huge. I even tried to break dance. I was so bad at it, but I'd sit there and try to bust a moonwalk and a backspin. I never had any skill at all at it, but I always thought it was cool. And the movies, whether it was even just horror, just the movies in general, a lot of fun. And yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a fun shoot and a lot of cool perks, like you said, to go along with it, that you can do a little turn back time, go back to the 80s and be a part of this film. Very cool.
One of the things that I'm really excited about is we're trying to take every trope you can think of and just do it almost outrageously. So like we've got like, the nudity, we've got like a ton of nudity that's gonna happen in it. But like pillow fight, we're like adding the pillow fights, we're adding like the demon, we're adding like trying to add right now this motorcycle scene with like lots of fog effects, but like pink lighting, kind of like fog sitting in the floor. Um, it's there's a lot that we're trying to do, like bring out certain elements from the 80s type styles of films, but also like with the tropes as well within the kills. So that's going to be kind of fun because we're trying to take it, amp it, and do it outrageously. So that's kind of a project that we've been working on as well.
Very cool. I see you're up to 12,000, almost $12,500 on this campaign. It says you have, let's see, 15 days left, a little over 2 weeks. And yeah, the 80s is one of those things. I gotta say, I didn't live through other times, but had to be the most unique, bizarre time of just almost everything. I mean, just out there stuff, whether it's big spiked hair, big hair, it didn't matter. There were so many different personalities you'd see out there in the 80s. And you like from breakdancing to the rock, the 80s glam metal or rock metal or whatever you want to call it. pop songs back in the day, Phil Collins type deal. I listened to a lot of that. I was always a rocker, a metal kind of guy, but I had two sisters, like I said, so I probably know pop music better than any music there is. So there's just so much variety in the 80s that I could see so much fun with this film that you can do.
Yeah,
I mean, it's an open book of just everything from out of nowhere. You'd see a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it was a very unique, colorful time living through. I know I've said that, but you say it's an 80s movie and you go with that vibe, it'll be a little bit like going through my youth again,
yeah.
watching it.
We one of the things is because like this is also like the original was heavy metal horror, so um we're actually having like original songs created for the film and having the actors perform them as well. So that's been kind of unique. I've never done that. I've been in a lot of movies, but I've never like had anybody do that. So I'm kind of curious on how it's going to work out, and I think it's going to be really fun.
That sounds like, I mean, how can you not have fun with an 80s timetable movie? There's just so much fun you can do with it,
Yeah.
and with the cast and the perks that you're talking about. Is there like one idea of, without giving away spoilers, of the 80s theme you're going for? Like, uh, what's the best way to perform it? Like shooting wise, it's got to be really difficult in a sense. If you're doing any outside shots, are you planning on trying to get like a street closed down and get those old custom cruiser station wagons and stuff like that? Because vehicles are a big part of the 80s too. They had a unique style, and
Yeah.
that can be tricky.
The way that I've kind of done it is with the like the locations that we have as well. Uh, I got everything up in Louisville, Kentucky, and a little bit of it I believe is in like right across the bridge over in Indiana. But it's such a like historic old vintage looking homes, like Victorian style homes, that they're already like dated, so that helps a little bit with that. That's kind of one of the reasons, like it was either do it here in Tennessee or do it in Louisville, Kentucky, and I was like, the houses are going to look way better. Especially because like we've rented so many Airbnbs up there before, like even on the insides of like houses that you can get are very vintage. So I think that's going to help with the kind of like the look of it. As far as like the outside parts go, there's a few scenes that takes place on the outside, so we do have to find cars, that are older, and that's kind of like what we are doing right now is looking for that. I'm kind of looking for a motorcycle, so if anybody's in the Louisville area that has a motorcycle that is kind of a throwback to those 80s days, let me know.
Or
um
find a Tudor house. Those were big back in the 80s. They didn't last too long. They were kind of cool at the time, but I don't know if you know what a Tudor house is, but they were definitely big in the 80s. We also have a special guest who wants to pop up and talk to you a little bit. My usual co-host on Shooting the Shiz, Mr. Brett Wagner, is out there rocking it at a convention. Welcome, Brett.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Adam. How are you?
hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
80s. Man, I graduated in 86. I better move up to the front of the ladder in this movie for some reason. Yeah. No. Uh, oh my gosh, what a crazy day. Here at the Krypt Icon, it's been nuts. Packed. I
Yeah.
mean, I think there's still people. It closed at 6, but there was the line for the Terrifier crew and the line for the Scream crew. Unbelievable. So they were probably still there signing right now. But yeah, I look at Adam's in his 80s colors right now. He's got the neon, he's got the lights kind of, he's looking good. I'm feeling like we're in an 80s brothel right now.
You should see my whole house. We have lights like this everywhere, just like throughout the entire house. We have pink lights.
Yeah, from watching your movie today, I know lighting's a big part, so 80s is going to be kind of perfect vibe for you to do your follow up film, which is it's so with the film, it's it's a remake, but you said you're adding a lot to it.
Mhm.
Are you keeping like just the ultimate story, but just expanding on it as far as like adding new characters? You said expand. You want to keep the same kills. You want to pay homage to it, which Brett knows a lot about this since he was the Kemper killer in the '03 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, that was a great remake where it honored the original film, but it did its own thing too. And
Mhm.
that's a tough part with remakes. I don't know if you could touch on that, Brett, or also you, Adam, responded to that.
Well, I mean, look at you when you do either if you're doing a fan film or you're doing a remake of something. Our 2003, remake was obviously they kept a lot of the stuff in and paid homage to the original movie, but they just made it more brutal. Our 2003 Texas Chainsaw Massacre was so brutal, over the top brutal, and a lot of blood and everything else. So, um, what are you going to do, Adam? Are you going to keep a little bit like what John was saying? You're going to keep to the story and just add a little bit more brutality and stuff, or what?
Mhm. We have kept the same story, but it's very, very different. It's a huge love letter to the original. We've taken some characters away and we've put new characters in. So like in the original, it was about a, a lead rocker singer who basically lose her spot in the band because she has bad PR. And when she loses it, she wants whoever takes the lead to get possessed. So she basically, like Melissa Moore is in the original, one of my favorite scream queens. She like takes over and she gets possessed and starts turning into this demon throughout. So it's really like they had, I want to say like four key characters in it. So like in the original, so like what we're doing is like we've given the character that Melissa Moore played, which was the lead role, we've given her like a roommate that lives with her and is her makeup artist, and she's kind of got her own personality, really fun. And then like there's obviously like a manager's over the band. And it was kind of like more just like him in the original. So like we've added like the assistant who's like really snarky and really funny and just over the top. And we just added on to everybody a little bit. But then like we've changed up the story a little bit while keeping the original. And a lot of times like people try to go like all bloodier and try to outdo the original. We kind of like embrace the original and we want to play tribute, so we're wanting to do it like the original, but of course have more gore, and we've added some like really shocking things in it, And one of the things that a lot of people keep asking me, because I'm sure there are people who've seen the original Scream Dream, and I did say this publicly. A lot of people are asking about, there's a scene in the original, and it's at the very first of the movie. It's just how it opens up. There's a chainsaw that comes to a bed, and it cuts the girl in half between her legs. And they're like, "Are you going to do that?" They keep asking me. I'm like, "Are you going to do that?" I'm like, "Yes, we're going to do it. We're going to go all out with it. We're going to have fog effects. We're going to have pink lighting, holographic costume, lots of nudity with it." And it is going to be on a built set. So that's only one that I'm talking about. I don't want to like give too much away with like the kills. So we're having to like take this bed that I'm actually on right now, because it's made in like the 1800s, I believe. So it's kind of different on the like underneath, and we have to like build a almost kind of like a box on top of it and like pre-cut it, and like pre-cut comforter, and we've added like there was a sock puppet in the original. And it was just really kind of just random throughout the film, and you just kept being like, "Why is this little sock puppet in here?" But what we did was like we tied it all together in the remake, and we've added like a whole brand new character, this antagonist who's kind of like visiting the person who keeps getting possessed, and he's like lingering around in the scenes, and he's kind of like talking back and forth, but he's like a rocker himself. So like what we did was, I love Slumber Party Massacre too. It's one of my favorite films in the world. So I did play tribute to like other films that I love. So like I've made it into like this rocker demon who's got like this purple spiked out jacket, um, got like leather and chains on him for harness, you know, very edgy, very sexual, and it's just really, really crude in humor. So lots of
It's
language
awesome.
and lots of sexual innuendo. But it's, you know, it's kind of, you know, I'm taking a little bit from the films that I love, putting it into this to make it more better for the remake.
Well, I mean, you. How long ago was the original Scream Dream shot?
1989.
Oh, geez, yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, you see something like that, and then you come back, and later on, you're like, oh, you know, things can be better. This can be done better.
Yeah.
I could do something here. That's great.
Have
That's
you had a
awesome.
chance to talk to any of the original cast and gotten any feedback from them about doing this remake? Possibility of seeing them cameo or something like that, or is that something you can't give away as far as a cameo? But
I can definitely talk about it. I don't think that she would mind. I've been in contact with Melissa Moore for a few years, and I know that she lives in Kentucky, and that's where we're going to be shooting. So I did reach out to her and ask her if she would want to be a part of it. She was really, really interested, and she did back out because she first gave a yes, but she is really, really busy. I mean, she's like a very successful model right now, and she has I forget what it's called. Forgive me. And I just went blank. But she has a ranch full of horses, and she's constantly doing horseback riding and doing shows and things like that. So, you know, I think that she just had a lot on her plate, and this would have been a lot for her. So she was just the best, and she is really, you know, excited to see this remake come to life. But I've talked to her. I've talked to Donald Farmer, which I've worked with Donald Farmer several times, and every time I always bring this movie up to him, like every time I'm on a shoot. So he's told me lots of things about it, so much that I probably couldn't even say it all right now. But yeah, so I've been kind of like in contact with, you know, people who were in the original, and know a little bit about like how it was shot, like how they did the chainsaw bed scene and some of the special effects. And being on some of his other projects, I kind of know probably how it was shot as well, because it's always kind of like very similar ways that we shoot. Like when I shot like Stark Exorcist 2 or Bigfoot Exorcist or Debbie Does Demons, Cannibal Hookers, it's always been kind of like the same way that we shoot. So I was thinking, okay, they probably did it this way, you know, getting
we
that
got a
feel.
we got a question from the chat. What do you think about I believe the 1980s version of Trick or Treat?
Oh, wow. It has been years since I saw a Trick or Treat. I'm talking like since I was like probably before I was even 10 years old. So
So not too much recollection other than you saw it.
I saw it. I remember it. I remember it was a really fun movie. I do need to revisit it. I was watching, I believe it was uh In Search of Darkness Part 3 on Shudder the other day, and they brought it up. And yeah, so I kind of went down a trip down memory lane. I kind of got sucked into that documentary watching it, but it's been a little too long for me to remember that movie.
I believe it has Ozzy and Gene Simmons. If it was 89, that was when Gene Simmons wanted to still be an actor. So I'm guessing he was in the original Trick or Treat or Scream Dream. I'm not sure which one he was
Man,
in.
that's good. You know, Gene Simmons. Gene Simmons can act. And he
Oh
did a
yeah,
couple.
Runaway was a great movie with Tom
Yeah, I
Selleck.
loved
I've
it. I
seen
mean,
that a million times, man. That was a great movie.
yeah, that's a great one. But you know, when you're worth $500 million, and sometimes guys just don't want to act anymore. Yeah, good. Well, we're excited to see this. When do you think you're gonna? When do you start production?
Production starts, pre-production is starting right now. So I'm one of these people like really I do more work in pre-production than I do like actual filming. So more work goes into that than anything. But we do film September 17th to the 30th of this year, and then it should be out sometime like probably early in 2024. Uh, hopefully maybe a little bit sooner. Ronnie Jonah is editing our film, so I'm like really excited. She showed me some of her work, but she's also acting in the film, and she's also doing assistant directing. Um, and then I have Ben Johnson, who works for Trauma, who's doing cinematography. And I'm really excited to work with Ronnie because one of the things, like with Deadly Dealings, that I had a really huge problem with was nobody understood my vision for it. Like it was really hard to like get people on track because you said you watched it today. It's really ethereal, and it was kind of like telling people like, I want this, and this, and this. And they were like, but really? Like, isn't it going to be gaudy? And I'm like, no, that's what I want. Like, I want it to be really garish throughout the whole film. And they kind of, when they got to set and everybody got in makeup, and I was like, no, add more, or like put more glitter on, or I want you like in this like giant fluffy like $200 $300 ruffled robe. And I literally bought it for her. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah. So she got what I was trying to do. And it was really hard, I think, to get people on the same page until they were there. So what I'm trying to do on Screen Dream, I've hired people from Deadly Dealings because they know what I'm trying to pull out now, and they're really excited about it. So like everybody's now deep in pre-production with me rather than me just being by myself, because I was a one-person pre-production for months on Deadly Dealings. And that's kind of something I'm really excited about, is that people are on the same track with what I'm trying to do now.
I find that's great.
Oh, it does help if you have people that have the same, believe in your vision. So,
yeah. I think it's real helpful for indie. It's real helpful for indie. I know a lot of indie creators and writers and directors. They find those people that just they vibe with, and then you build your skill set with all of them, and you find out what everybody's good at. You get better, they get better, and you wind up running like a well-oiled machine. And Peter Anthony's here. He's saying, Adam, congrats. Can't wait for your film, man. He is pumped. Peter's out there shooting a film right now, I believe, with Jason Brooks. He's got his suit on, looking all fancy. Mr. Bodyguard, he's ready to go. He's protecting somebody. It looks like an interesting shoot. It was like 30, 40 below zero for him today, so I appreciate him coming in. He took off his beanie. He had it on today, and decided to come and check out the stream. Thanks for being here. And that was Cody's question from earlier about Trick or Treat.
Thank you, Peter, by the way.
Yeah, he's excited for you. Peter's a great supporter of indie. Not only a talented filmmaker, but I just the one thing I really love about Peter is he's so supportive of all the other indie talents out there. And yeah, we're all excited for you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Miss Amy Crabtree's here. She loves their Deadly Dealings people. They are the best. And yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so for the guy who's sitting in his you can tell I'm in my hotel room. Had a long day. Signed a ton of Funko Pops and pictures. But Adam, I'm sitting in my hotel room tonight. Mm-hmm. I got my phone. I got Tubi on there. I got Scare. I forget what it's called. Scare something else. So what can I watch tonight? Is there some Adam Freeman on Tubi that I can watch tonight while I'm sitting in here?
There is a film on Tubi that I was a lead in. It was my first lead role. It's called Truly Madly. I do want to say, and I do tell people this, I was deathly ill during the whole making of that film. Literally, I found out like close to the end of the production that I had a liver disease and that I could have died.
Oh.
So I fixed what I had to do, and I lost 60 pounds in 2 weeks of fluid. So if that says anything, I was just really sick in that movie. But it is a really fun movie, and it was a really hard movie to make. Have you ever seen Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker, aka Night Warning?
I have not.
Okay, it was a film back in the 80s. It was robbed of its Oscar, in my opinion. The lead lady deserved an Oscar for that film. She was psychotic. But it's about the original Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. It was about an aunt and her nephew, and she's kind of sexually obsessed with her nephew, and everybody's all about his sexuality, like trying to figure out if he's like gay or whatnot, and she just goes psychotic and tries to break like him and his girlfriend up, and um, just crazy. But in Truly Madly, what we did was it was just really heavily inspired by that film. So like we have this psychotic religious mother who is very obsessed and sexually obsessed with her son, who is played by me, and she finds out that he's gay, and we actually made the character, gay this time. So it was, she finds out he's gay, so she tries to kill everyone around him, and she just goes on this religious kill spree, and she's wanting the son all to herself. And honestly, that film was the longest film that I've ever been a part of. Like I had to drive. Let's see, I drove from not Newport, Tennessee, all the way to Louisville, Kentucky every weekend.
Wow.
I would work 8 hours at my job, get off from there, drive up there, film for like 18, get off for a little bit, film another 18, and then go full force and drive back home, go into work, then take an hour back home, and then finally get to go to sleep. So it was like that for like almost 2 years. It was a really hard process, but it's very grindhouse. So instead of like putting over, like, some people put filters over their film and they make it look old. The people behind the editing and the director spent hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours actually editing this and going in and making it look like Grindhouse, and actually putting, like, if you see a little glitch, they put that glitch there. Like it's actually edited instead of just throwing a filter over it. So it is a film that I'm really proud of. I want to say I had it like right here, a poster of it, but oh, I do. I have like a poster that's not really seen often. If you would like to see it,
Yeah, man, come on.
Sure.
So here is the one that you see on the Blu-ray, but this is the one that you never see.
Ooh.
There we go.
Definitely different tones between the two. There's a vast contrast between the two. They're both cool, but I do like that with the knife and everything. It's pretty beast mode.
Yeah. So it is. It's a film that I'm really proud of. However, I am going to tell you there is a lot of there's sexual situations, and there's nudity in it that I think some people were turned away by. A little bit too much nudity, but I'm still proud of it. So
I'm a 55-year-old man. I can handle some nudity. We're okay.
yeah, but that's kind of like how I think got started in some of these films. And I just recently won a Best Scream King award at the Sarah of Horror Film Festival for Deadly Dealings. But what I was doing was, when I first kind of got into film, and it's kind of like something that people from my work are figuring out, because they're all got Tubi. So and like Savage Vengeance is about to come out. It's on pre-order right now, but I was really comfortable with doing that, and a lot of other people were not. So I think that's kind of like why sometimes they gave me the role, and they realized that I had professional training. So that's what got me, I think, some of the roles that I got starting out, was because I did that.
You said you were a Shark Exorcist too, right?
Too, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that on Tubi also?
That one's about to come out. The first one is on there.
Oh, okay.
Stephen King gave a shout out about that on his, I think it was his Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah, so
very cool.
I think he likes, like the shitty shark movies, but I personally, I love Shark Exorcist, the original. It's just fun, I do a little bit of mix of like very like campy, and then like I've done some serious horror films as well. So
what do you personally like? Do you like the acting part, or what do you like doing the acting? Do you like putting a movie together? I mean, or all of it combined?
I like all of it combined, but I think that there's certain parts that I like for different reasons. Like when I do acting, I like becoming someone else, and I like getting into character, and I like creating the scene on camera. And then it's like when I'm directing, I like being in control of everything. It's what I want to see in a movie. So with Deadly Dealings, I didn't want it to have any tropes. I don't know if you noticed that there's really no tropes in it. But there's no final girl either. I'm not afraid to say
No,
that.
it was you. I really I like the chances you took on it, where everything was really unexpected,
Yeah,
but it was well presented,
yeah,
with the story, what the issue was, and it does have a twist that's like I did not expect that all to happen that way. So
yeah.
kudos on that. I enjoyed the movie. I had a good time watching it. It was different, like you said. There's no tropes in it. It would definitely
Yeah.
had an original concept. How hard was it directing and acting in that movie?
It was kind of like for me, it was easy. I mean, I was stressed out that week just because I wanted everything to kind of like go well. So I I had a great time. Like we all had a great time. We didn't have anything negative happen. Nothing felt like it was pushed upon anybody, if that makes sense. It was just a great time. Um, but with directing, I love directing because I like watching movies over and over again. So like I've been watching like The Evil Dead pretty much like once a week, if not twice a week, every week for the past like 2 years almost. So I tend to watch movies over and over and over again almost every week, especially my favorites. So I'm trying to create something that I would want to watch over and over and over again, and that's why I like directing.
Very cool.
Very
Now,
cool.
when you're watching, let's say, like you said, you watch The Evil Dead a lot. Are you finding stuff in the movie that you like and thinking about what? Oh, I could do something like that, or is it does it just get your mind going, get the gears rolling?
Sam Raimi is a huge inspiration to me. So yes, I love Raimi. His work. I literally have like I even have like a copy of it is bootleg, of course, but it's like the Within the Woods, the prequel to The Evil Dead. And I even have, and I usually show people this because it's really fun. I even have part of the cabin in my room.
Oh,
Oh,
So I love The Evil Dead like a ton, so I try to put like little, I don't know, like you when you watch Deadly Dealings and you saw the guy dripping out of his mouth, and at the table, and then you saw like the end scene. I was really inspired by Cheryl from The Evil Dead because I think she's such a strong presence on The Evil Dead, but she had such limited acting ability because she's in this hole the entire movie, and she was so effective. So really
for
heavily
sure.
inspired by that. Yeah, but also like I love Fulci. So Fulci and Raimi and Bava, Mario Bava,
Fulci.
those are three.
not a
One of
bad
my
list,
favorite
that's for sure.
one of my favorite movies of all time, Zombie. I just I love Fulci. Fulci's great, but my favorite poster, it's definitely in my top 10 posters of all time, is Zombie and Fulci, and you know, uh, just Fulci is amazing. All right, listen, you two. I am tired, so I just wanted to pop in and say hello, Adam, and say hello to Doomsday's Krypt, John, and good luck, Adam.
Thank you.
I will be in Louisville in a couple of weeks. Maybe I'll send you a message. I don't know. Are you close to Louisville or?
I'm in Louisville, or it's Louisville, Tennessee, but I will
Oh,
be in Louisville, Kentucky. Actually originally from Louisville, Kentucky.
okay.
I just
Well,
need
I'll
to.
see if I can get a hold of you and we can hook up, say hello, and we can chat. But you guys have a great night. John, have a great rest of the weekend. Adam,
You
a
too,
pleasure
buddy.
chatting with you.
You as well.
Enjoy
Thank
your
you.
enjoy that convention, pal.
Thank you,
Yeah.
buddy. I'm hearing some great stories from Bob Elmore and Mark Burnham. We're having a good time. I'm sitting next to these two guys, and
Nice.
Bill
Tell Mark
Mosley.
he's going to be my neighbor at Phantasm. I'm the table right next to him.
Okay, cool. I will mention that today. I'm going to probably
Yeah,
try to get both of them to do a little shout out for our show, Shooting the Shiz. So we'll see if we can get both these guys to
yeah.
send a little shout out. And
I'd love to. When I go to that convention, that table's gonna, right on his side. I'm
oh
gonna have
yeah,
some cool ass Mark Burnham stuff
yeah.
for him.
So if you
Keep him busy
if folks
signing.
if you've never met Mark Burnham, new Leatherface on Netflix. Great guy, very humble guy, wonderful guy. And then we got Bob Elmore right next to him, and then right next to him we got Bill Moseley. So it's we're very Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw Massacre on one side of the room. So we're having a good time.
That's amazing.
All right, God bless you both. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Take care, Brett. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Brett Wagner, Big Swag, always friendly, one of the great co-hosts. We've done a few shows together now, and we have a lot of fun. So, yeah, Deadly Dealings was awesome. I enjoyed the coloring. I thought it was really creative what you did. Like you said, there were no tropes. It was a story with some really interesting twists to it. I don't think anybody would start watching that movie and go, "This is how it's going to end." I see it right now, so I commend you.
Thank you. One of the things I was worried about with that film was we used a lot of wigs. I'm sure you noticed, like everybody but two people has wigs on in that film. And I was just kind of like, okay, are people gonna like hate this and turn it off immediately because they see that? That was one of my biggest fears. But like, when I watched The Love Witch, which obviously I have a poster behind me. I absolutely love that movie. Almost everyone had wigs in that film as well. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. And I'm just going to do it because at that time I had my head shaved for something else. And Milo, I didn't want Milo to not have long hair because, he's supposed to be like witchy and into the occult and things. I would see him as that. So I wore a wig. I know Steve wore a wig. Dixie Gares wore a wig. Everybody was wearing wigs in that film. So it was kind of fun though. I'm not gonna lie, but I was a little bit worried on that aspect of it. So
it was a lot. I thought the coloring was really cool. It blended in. The wigs kind of fit. It fit with what you were pulling off. It seemed like you had a great cast. The guys all had a good chemistry and a lot of fun with the movie. And it shows on screen.
one of the hardest things was I actually hand created the demon costume. So there's a few costumes that I had to do by hand. So like I'd be at work doing dispatch, and then I was over here like sewing and taping and bedazzling costumes. So that one was a lot of work, but very much worth it. And it is available right now on Blu-ray. And it comes out later this year on streaming and DVD worldwide. But we have exclusive 4K Blu-rays that you can get through me. So you can like DM me, go to the Daily Dealings page. I have it listed there if anybody's interested in that as well.
Isn't there also a perk that includes the Blu-ray? You can get the Blu-ray and support a Scream Dream.
We do have that. You can buy Scream Dream and Deadly Dealings Blu-ray, plus get both posters. It's a double feature perk, and it's actually not bad, especially since you get the posters for how much it is. Because the posters were very expensive to make. I'm not going to lie. So we gave a really big discount getting all 4 products together. So yeah.
Well, Cody, I sent him the link. He wants to come on and ask you a few questions. I always let my good friends and my pals, guys who come on here, if they're interested in giving some good questions to a creative, talented filmmaker like yourself.
Thank you.
Always happy to bring them up there. But yeah, I'm excited for you, man. You definitely have a talent being a writer, director, and actor. Not everybody's good at all 3, and you're pulling it off. And you also you did the set designing on there too, right?
I did. We one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to make sure that if you freeze the movie anywhere, that it looks cinematic. So like you could take a screenshot of it. So
yeah, I thought the opening scene at the at the graveyard. I thought I was like, wow, that's really cool how you made that happen and work. And
yeah, I told Roman, I was like, can you just like invert the colors here and make like everything green supposed to be like pinkish and red? And he was like, sure, no problem, I got you. So
yeah, it was cool. It looked really cool on screen for sure. Welcome, Cody Huskins, Huskins Horror Studios.
Hey there, Adam. Hope you're doing good.
thank you. How are you doing?
Doing pretty well. I just want to jump on here and just let you know that I'm a huge metal fan. I'm a filmmaker myself,
Nice.
and I was the one that asked a question earlier about Trick or Treat.
Okay. Okay. It's been so long since I've seen that movie. I was probably younger than 10 years of age when I watched Trick or Treat. It has been a while. I need to revisit
But
it.
you also said Slumber Party Massacre 2 is one of your favorite horror films. That I love that movie too. So it's a classic.
That movie there's no other movie. I love Slumber Party Massacre 2. I love Chris Bernard. And let's face it, we're never going to get another Sally in another film like that. She was like the highlight, Heidi Kozak. And yeah, I love like the vibe with the colors and what they did with that killer. And I'm heavily, heavily inspired by Slumber Party Massacre 2 for Scream Dream.
Absolutely. I've never even seen that movie that you're remaking or sequel to, or I never have. Scream Dream, is that the name of it?
It is, and you can find it on YouTube if you take all the E's and turn them into threes. Scream Dream.
Well, I have never seen it. I'll definitely be checking it out because there's nothing better than metal and horror. So
yeah. It is a shot on video, but it has Melissa Moore in it. And I love Melissa Moore, Sorority House Massacre 2. And I just think it has like such a charm to it. And when you look at it from like a shot on video going into like a cinematic way that we're going to do it, I think that you'll see that there's a lot that we could expand on.
Okay, that sounds good, man. I'm going to actually watch that. I have never heard of it. I've never seen it. And I've seen your movie getting promoted on these on this indie horror sites, and man, I wish you well on that because me and Brett Wagner, we wrapped on The Grind back in October.
The Grind, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan film, am I right?
Yeah, and I'm playing Leatherface in the film.
Angel Bradford was in that, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yes, she sure was.
She's going to be in Scream Dream.
Oh wow, yeah, she has really gotten. I mean,
Angel's awesome. I got her outfit up there.
Oh, that's awesome.
I forgot I got that perk. Yeah, it's sidebar. I'm not. I forget which film it is. She's been acting so much, and I didn't realize. I think I got a perk, and it surprised me. I forgot I got it because I always like to support the talent out there, and Angel's definitely one of the most talented people out there. Just busy acting everywhere. She's in so much stuff. So congratulations having her on the cast.
Yeah, she sure is.
Yeah, I was gonna say one thing. I think what's great is because even guys like me and Cody haven't heard of Scream Dream, and you doing a remake of this film is only going to give that movie more attention and let people be more aware of it. So not only watching your version of the movie, also having the opportunity to watch the original version, I think that really that's a different kind of fan film right there that you're doing the remake of. So kudos to you because a lot of us never heard of that film. I didn't know it was a remake until I'd seen online that it was a remake. I'm like, I've never heard of this film.
Yeah.
And,
what I also want to say too is we are going to be doing a little bit like I've only ever done 2 like extreme horror films, like the underground extreme films. The special effects artist is from the underground extreme horror films. I know that she does like a Jonathan Doe's films as well. We're definitely going to be bringing a lot more gore and a lot more like fun, but also very gory effects to this. So I'm wanting to bring the extreme to a film that was not extreme from the get-go.
Yeah, it sounds good. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
And I'm looking at some of the perks, and unfortunately, I got to take off soon. But I got to let people know, support this film, support Adam Freeman here, talented filmmaker, talented actor, talented director. Most of these perks, there's some really cool ones, are $100 or less. There's a few above that, but most of them are under $100, $69, a lot of $59, $49, $39. So you could be supporting this film, help it get made, help them bring this to be the best movie it could be. The poster's awesome. I mean, that poster's killer with the bed, the girl on the bed,
Yeah, that's so
chainsaw
amazing.
coming through. I mean,
Very
that's
cool.
a sexy poster right there.
My mother was very disappointed in me over that poster. So I'm really proud of that poster. Yeah.
I'm going to share it real quick, and I'm going to go. We'll run through the perks really fast. Unfortunately, I can't stay too long. I'm trying to run it about an hour, and I hate rushing things, but it's been an honor having you on. I got to thank Brett Wagner while I'm thinking of it. Cody, thank you for coming on. Of course, you, Adam, coming on and speaking with us. But we're going to run through them real quick. Dream. I mean, that poster's awesome right there. I mean, the poster's $35 and it's worth every dollar right there. That is a badass poster. I absolutely love it. The Deadly Dealings Blu-ray you can get, which is a film I watched today. You guys will really enjoy it. Is that just a Blu-ray or does that? Oh, yep, just the Blu-ray on that. It's worth the $35. Helps make this movie happen. You'll get to see some of Adam's talents. You get shirts, $37 shirts. My boss would kill me if I walked in with one of these shirts. And I'm always working, so I unfortunately, I might need to get a poster. The signed special edition Blu-ray. I gotta say, that's one of the best Blu-ray covers I've seen. Gotta be a rock star. So bring out your 80s metal. You had a little 80s metal in a sense, or a little metal. I don't want to say 80s metal in Deadly Dealings. That was a pretty cool song. I'm sure that was a perk somebody got, but it was very cool. Your voice in the movie. Like I said, most of this is $100 or less, $99 for your face in the movie. Associate producer, you're talking a little more, but you're an associate producer. Only one associate producer that's available, so get on it if you like your name to be out there. You work your work in the movie, song or your artwork. Get killed in the movie. Who doesn't want to get killed in a movie? Scream Dream guitar. That's a cool one. I like that guitar right there. That's an actual guitar. That's sweet.
Yeah, we have that being made by Jesse Sites as well.
Oh hell yeah! That definitely screams Slumber Party Massacre 2 on there.
Yeah.
And the executive producer.
I'm gonna have to let my nephew know about this because he's 15 years old and he can shred a guitar.
Okay.
And all he plays is 80s metal.
Nice.
And I'm gonna let him know about your movie and see what he can like. Maybe reach out to you or something about one of the perks or something. He can shred, and he has a band called Transitory.
Okay.
And he plays nothing but 80s, like Motley Crue and Judas Priest and stuff like that.
That is
and
awesome.
He's just 15, and he plays like Randy Rhoads already. So I'm gonna let him know about your film, man. So
thank you so much. I look forward
awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Cody. Thank you again, Adam Freeman. Deadly Dealing, the Scream Dream. By the time we're off, it'll be about 2 weeks left. It's almost midnight, so 14 days left. Get on these perks. Check it out. Share it out on Facebook. Let your friends know about it. And I will see you guys all soon. I got an unboxing I want to do tomorrow. I got a cool piece. You see that Arnold Schwarzenegger behind me?
Oh, yeah.
By my good friend Lonnie McCullum. Graven Images.
Hey, John,
did my Freddy's. What's that?
Before I jump off here, did you watch my watch party the other night, Night of Living Dead?
I didn't get a chance to. I've been work's been crazy. I'll tell you off script, but I've just been. That's why I felt bad with Adam. I told him, I'm like, man, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you. You want to come on Saturday or Sunday? It's just been a crazy week. I mean, starting off with my van, the engine blowing on it, so I got to fly to Florida to pick up a truck, and it's just been crazy. But that's aside the point. I'm glad we were able to put this together, get you on, Adam. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, the big swag, Brett Wagner. thank you, chat. Thank you, Amy Crabtree, and all the awesome people who came and
Thank you.
supported the stream. And we will see you soon.
Awesome.
See you guys. Good meeting you, Adam.
Good meeting you all. Thank you.
All right.
Peace out.